Hey, what's going on? Act Diggy here. Why am I wearing a tux? Because today's a special day for a lot of you. See, I got friends, some musical affiliates that want to get into production. They want to learn how to make beats. And unfortunately, I would try to send them to the internet to go find the information. And the problem is all the videos that you find on the internet are people who are making beats. You know, you'll find videos of Kanye and Pharrell making beats, but it doesn't teach you how. All it does is show you what they were doing. Okay? Even a lot of the non-celebrity producers out there, you'll find their videos and it shows them making a beat. There's no commentary. They're not explaining what they're doing. If you're someone who wants to learn how, you're not going to learn just by watching those videos. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to try to give you some commentary and show you what actually goes into making the beat. It may not be as hard as you think. Alright, so you and I both know I didn't need a tuxedo to show you this. But what I do need is your attention and some credit card numbers. Fine. Just your attention. You can pay with your attention. Alright, now the song I'm going to be showing you how to make today, you know, just as an example, is a song that I actually made for my daughter. I just recently had a daughter about 2 months ago, and I made a song for her. The reason why I'm showing this song is because it's very simple. I want it to be something that's not complex, so it's not a beat featuring lyrics, it's lyrics featuring a beat. It's only 5 tracks long, so all I have to show you is 5 tracks. It's simply looped over and over again. It has somewhat of a soul sound, somewhat of a hip-hop sound. So, let's get to it. I'm going to show you step by step what you do. Now, before we actually get started with the beat, I'm going to explain how beats are usually broken down. Generally, in pop music, hip-hop, R&B, country, rock, most genres of music are layered tracks that usually include some certain elements. A drum pattern, a bass line, a melody, and what I call fillers. Now, what fillers are, a lot of times in a lot of beats you'll hear strings that sound like an orchestra, or you hear some ambient sound that's continuous, it goes on, it has a lot of reverb. The reason why I call those fillers is because for a lot of beats, if you don't have fillers, your beat sounds empty, it sounds unfinished, and fillers quite easily finish a beat. Now, the beat that I'm about to show you is mostly fillers. It's not really a melody. I mean, you can consider it a melody, but it's kind of a filler because it's literally 4 notes that I'm hitting and holding. I'm using a whirly piano, or somewhat of like a Kurzweil sounding piano. Let's get to it. Now, I made this beat in GarageBand, so that's the program I'm going to show you it on. When I was making this beat, the first thing that I came up with was my whirly piano. Okay, so that is the first thing I'm going to show you how to record. We're going to start our beat with that sound. Now, I'm not going to necessarily show you how to do it in GarageBand because this is more a tutorial of how to make a beat, not necessarily how to work the software. Once I found my sound, the first thing I did was I found a chord that works for me, a chord that I like. So this is the chord I will be using. It's here. Alright, and what I did was I separated it so it wasn't just that, it's A, C, E, A, and then back. Actually, I hit the E on the second portion of it. Alright, now the first thing I do after I record a track is I double click on it and go to an editing screen. Now if you're using something other than GarageBand, this may work a little bit different. I'm using it on GarageBand because, as I always say in most of my videos, GarageBand is probably the easiest software I've ever used to do music. So if you're beginning, it's a pretty good piece of software for you to begin on. Once I click in this, double click in this here, it brings up this edit track down here. What I do is I immediately go and highlight all of these until they're green. Go over to the left of them, and what you'll see down here is align note. I align them to the, let's see here, those ones I align to 1/8. What you want to do is you want to find the quantization that works for what you've just played. Okay? I use 1/8 because it will work for what I just played. Now, I move on to the next track, or I can play this track back for you so we can hear it again. Here it is. Perfect. Next, we move on to our bass line. Okay, it starts off with this A. See that? So it's A, C, D, B. Alright, so we have it recorded now, we can play it back. Next, I'm going to move on to the drum pattern. The reason why I'm going in this order is just simply because this is the order that I came up with it in my head when I made this beat originally. Some beats that I make, I start out with the drum pattern and end up adding the bass line, the melody, the fillers, and all those different things to it later. If you're one of those people who want to make beats with samples in it, it's probably best to come up with your sample, lay your sample first, and then lay everything else, because you're going to end up having to match all your notes for your bass line, so on and so forth, to that sample. Alright, so let's move on. We're going to record our hi-hats. I'm literally playing the hi-hat when the metronome plays. You don't have to do that. I mean, a lot of my different beats have hi-hats in different places. This particular one, I chose to, make it the same way that the metronome counts. Let's record our snare. Alright, we're set. I'm going to quantize those or align them. Now on this part on the actual song, I have the hi-hats muted, so I muted them that way. I'm going to record the bass drum that I have during the chorus. Now, I always want to suggest that when you are recording, see, I was using computer speakers. You should probably use earphones if you're using a home studio and you don't have worthy studio monitors. Best thing to do is probably, invest in some $40 earphones. If you have more money, invest in the higher quality earphones, some AKGs. You'll get a better sound than trying to use computer speakers. Even if you go buy some other aftermarket computer speakers that aren't built into your system, I still prefer the earphones. Now, when you're on mix down, I like to probably play it in 6 different types of stereos before I consider myself having the perfect mix down, because you'll find that what sounds great in those earphones doesn't sound great in your car, so on and so forth. I hope I answered some questions as far as what goes into making beats. It gets a lot more complex than this. I picked this one because it was simple. If you have any more questions, you want to join blogs and forums, so on and so forth, you can visit me and some affiliates at homestudioplanet.com. Thanks for coming out. Peace.